Greetings, YouTube. You know, I talked about how Kabam was going to drain you slowly but surely of your units and your cash before Cyber Monday and Black Friday because November is coming up and they don't want you to hoard things because they want you to have to give as much of your cash as possible because of the sense of urgency that will hit you as soon as those offers pop up. Well, last week we saw a 5-star Awakening Gem cash-only deal that drained a lot of people of their credit, whether that be through the site I always pimp up, as some of you like to say, Swag Bucks, or just out of your parents' credit cards. And now we have a Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst deal that has multiple layers of units. So, as always, we're going to review this, and I have waited over 10 minutes to make sure that the message is in my inbox so I can do all the tiers of grading at once. So, for 1,000 units, you get 1 Tier 4 Basic, 25 Tier 4 Class Catalyst Fragments, 100,000 gold, and 3,600 Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst Fragments, which is essentially what I get every single week with my Glory for free. So that's 1,000 units, and yes, as a comparison of what that would cost you if you had no units whatsoever and you were wanting that from scratch, it would be over $30. I guess you could do the Tony Stark's briefcase with the Peter Parker's wallet, which would be $35. So it's $35 worth 3,600 Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst Fragments and 1 Tier 4 Basic, along with some Tier 4 Class Catalyst Crystals and gold. Yeah, not really, but let's check out the next few tiers. So if you get that, you'll get 3,000 unit offer, which is $100 worth of units, although at this point it's like $135 when you consider you had to unlock the intro price, the cover charge, if you will, of the first offer, and that is 10,800 Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst Fragments. So people complain all the time, and rightfully so, that a cash-based offer for one fully formed Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst, which I believe is, of course, 25% of just ranking up a 5-star to rank 4 because you need 4 of them for $100 is a ridiculous price. Now, you're going to say for the unit equivalent of $135, what used to get you, 1.3 Tier 2 Alphas is actually going to not even get you half of a Tier 2 Alpha. Now, you do get 2 more Tier 4 Basics. You get the same number of Tier 4 Class Catalyst Fragment Crystals, which is bizarre, and 1 Tier 4 Class Catalyst Crystal, so I guess that's how they're justifying it, and 3 times the gold. So I guess if you really, really need Tier 4 Class Catalyst, you can go on the gamble that is a 1 out of 6 class base, but man, for $100 for just that second tier to have it not be anywhere close to even half of a Tier 2 Alpha is shocking. And then, if you didn't already give up all your units and your freedom, you can get the ultimate Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst Cash for 6,000 units, which is $200 worth. So at this point, you have invested $330 worth of units, and you will get that remaining Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst, enough to complete it for 1. Now, you will get... Okay, well, I just laughed at this, and then I saw the Tier 5 Basic, and I was like, oh. You'll get 11,250 Tier 5 Basic. Now, suddenly, the whales have to be very tempted by this, because the first 2 tiers are a joke. The first 2 tiers, I'm going to tell you, trash or cash, straight F. Some of the worst values that we've ever seen. But to unlock that final tier and get those Tier 5 Basics is tempting for some people who have been hoarding. But even so, you also get 3 Tier 4 Basics and 2 more Tier 4 Class Catalysts. Of course, they're not of the class of your choice, and 600,000 gold. So, still, for $330, you get 11,250 Tier 5 Basics, 1 fully formed Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst, 6 Tier 4 Basics, 3 Tier 4 Class Catalysts, and 1 million gold. What do I think all of this is worth? I think the first deal at this point's probably worth 500 units. The second deal is maybe worth 1,500, but even closer to like 1,250 worth of units. The second deal is even worse of a value when you look at the ratio of what it should be priced at. And then the third deal, the Tier 5 basics, you could argue are worth, I don't know, based off of what they've offered before on non-July 4th holidays, about $100. So maybe you can justify this at 4,000 units, but that's still 2,000 units higher of a price. But at least you're getting some decent items for that. I still think for 6,000 units, you should get at least one fully formed Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst. This is, by all accounts from what I've seen, the worst Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst unit-based deal. For 9,000 units, just a couple months ago, to put this into perspective, I purchased that offer, and I got 2 fully formed Tier 2 Alphas and enough 5-star shards to buy a 10K basic 5-star crystal. And yes, there are still people who said that was a terrible offer, but I needed the Tier 2 Alphas and wanted to open a 5-star to try to get Stark Spidey, which of course I didn't, so that was worth it to me. This is taking the same price, adding 1,000 units, putting in 11,250 Tier 5 basics, taking out all of the 5-star shards, and just basically saying, throw your units our way. I hope to God that this year's 2018 Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals are better than this, because this is not value at all. This is the equivalent of really craving a good beer and paying $14 for it at a stadium because you have no other option, even though you know it should probably cost you at the local pub like $5 or $6. Don't put your units into this. Of course, like I say, as always, people are still going to do it because they can't help themselves. But if you are a hoarder like me, and I am just under 9,000 units, you can see in the top right corner, I will be saving those for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and hopefully we'll get much better values for Tier 2 Alphas than today's current trash offers. So what do you think? Agree, disagree? Always curious to see your opinion. Mostly trash, not cash. The first 2 levels are Fs. I'm going to say the final level is like a generous D, but still, for what it should be, $330 worth of units for one Tier 2 Alpha? Are you kidding me? Go home, Kabam. You're drunk.